Yep.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is a scene for Sept of the Howling Wind, a War of the Apocalypse joint set in San Diego. So, Jesse was running about doing his duty and whatnot, and he got a text from Veronica saying, "Come on over to her house, sit down, let's have a talk." And of course, he obliged. So he comes and knocks on the door. Cass and Val, I imagine, scooted out to let them have their moment. So Jesse just waits.
Veronica lets him in, and there are refreshments and snacks.
He'll slip his shoes off at the door.
Yeah.
He doesn't like wearing shoes inside. He'll thank her for letting him in.
I thank you for coming.
Of course. I need to know something right now. Are we just talking? You invited me to your home, so imagine we're just talking. This isn't official.
Correct.
Okay. He'll flop down. He just flops on the couch like boop.
You can be casual.
Okay.
You want beer or you want tea or water? I don't know what you like to drink.
I mean, whatever's offered. All of those fit work. It's fine. How about some tea? Pinkies up, bitches.
What kind do you want? There's a bunch here. I would imagine out of game.
Oh God, Cass drinks it all.
Kaz has all the teas.
All of them.
Do you want Earl Grey, black, white, green, mix?
Earl Grey is a fantastic choice.
She sets up a kettle for Earl Grey.
So I'm going to open this up with something that's going to make you either hate me or laugh.
She raises an eyebrow at him.
First thing I got asked the other day when I was talking about you is whether you and I have slept together.
Wait, what?
Well, not. I got asked if you and I are having sex. I was like, no. No, I'm still very gay. Like, it just in case that needs to be clarified.
Out of game, he's doing a good job diffusing tension.
I know.
She shakes her head and chuckles. Like, this is probably one of the few times he probably sees her smile.
No offense. You are a very beautiful woman. I just don't appreciate it. It's me. It's not you. I don't have the exquisite palate it takes to appreciate. He'll just up and down his hand. That. I leave it to better men. Oh my God, out of game. Hold on. I'm killing myself.
He just complimented all the other guys.
I know. He just isn't. Oh,
his intent was one way, and he just encouraged the complex.
Oh, he just all different ways with that one. He just smiles at her.
She chuckles and
he'll lace his hand over his stomach. So what's up?
I felt it was better to be somewhere a little more private because you want to help with the Thunderware plan.
You mean other than out in the middle of the set with God and everybody watching? Got it. Where I have to be like, oh, hey, Foster, don't fucking explain to me like that in front of everybody. I'm so sorry about that. He looks really apologetic. There were two noobs in front of me. One of them was just fresh enough to be in a cub.
It didn't help. That's why I felt it was better here. It didn't help. Aldehyde doesn't sometimes, he means well, but he doesn't have the best tendencies.
Well, yeah.
Because he made an offhand comment about me, which I wasn't too thrilled about. Then he wanted to talk. I asked for it in private, and he said, hold on, I would like to invite somebody, and it escalated.
To be fair, the person he invited was a Philodox.
I would figure.
But that being said, you should have been given a bit more say-so in the matter.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for that.
It's okay. I'm sorry if I came off the wrong way. Unfortunately, when certain things I'm insulted about or questioned, it does get me mad.
Can I be blunt?
She nods.
I think you're going through a lot right now.
You have no idea.
I mean, but I also think that means that your leadership of this mission is compromised. And that is literally of no insult. Especially because your base has been destabilized. Your pack is, by no fault of your own, to be honest, falling apart. And I was part of your pack.
Vic too much than Theo. Theo left on his own. He couldn't find the way to redeem himself. Between me and you, I don't want this shared without this person Petra's not doing well. So I find out he wasn't eating and he's been overly depressed where he won't get out of bed. I had to help him. And also with certain people, I need to ask permission before doing some of these moves. They've been busy where I couldn't talk to them yet. So some of it is some of these, like so far, Seeger didn't have too much of an issue, or Cassia with advice. I was going to go to my tribe, the Sept Alpha, or somebody else to get input because you cannot do something that big without permission. There's protocols you have to do. And if they think it was a bad idea, they would have mentioned that or offered a better suggestion.
I'm going to tell you an opinion I have about you. And it is just, it's not a criticism. It's feedback, okay? I think that you, as most Shadow Lords do, you have a lot of contacts and allies and people that you consort with. Unfortunately, what I don't think you realize is that with your fingers in all the pies and with your cat's paws acting out, literally, I think you don't realize two things. One, you have isolated yourself terribly. Terribly. No one really knows you. I know you a little bit, but that's the kind of man I am. I watch people. The second thing is that unfortunately, in going out so much, I truly do believe you're neglecting your own personal growth. I have a feeling that stripped away of all of your contacts and all of your resources, you would not be a very formidable opponent. And that concerns me. Now, with those things in place, you are quite potent. But there comes a point when you have to be able to support yourself on your own, devoid of everything. So I know that sounds very paradoxical that I'm telling you on the one hand you isolate yourself and yet on the other hand you rely too much on others, right?
Does sound very Philodox-like.
I know. You have to pardon me, I'm an Octana. What I'm saying is that I feel it would help you if you strike a personal balance. You have a very strong family that you've built around yourself. Your husbands, Petra, some of the people you've made close to you on the sept, like Sully.
Out of game, I have a feeling Jesse knows what's going on with Sully.
Oh, yeah, he knows. But that also means that you don't have very many connections among your peers. You know?
If anything, Jesse will notice if he does empathy or subterfuge, because I know as an Noctana he probably has these out of game.
Oh,
yeah. He would notice that it's for Veronica to open up is awkward. And it's more about maintaining a serious image. I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, it does. He's thinking a moment. Isabella. Not Isabella, I'm sorry, Isidore. The Alpha.
She perks up hearing that.
Think of how Stares Down the Devil behaves. She's not always so hard. It's something that comes out of her. It's something that wells out of her. So that when it happens, it's even more commanding. You know? You never turn it off. And so honestly, after a time, people become numb to it. Paired with the fact that, honestly, nobody really knows you. I mean, I guess it can make you a bit unapproachable. So I think that that's why people felt that they couldn't come to you to ask you about what was going on.
She seems to think things over.
Now, I know that you're a good person, and I told Adelheid as such. That this wasn't a question as to whether you were a good person or not. It's whether or not you know when not to be on duty. When to step back and get a look at the long game and the bigger picture, and then come back with clear eyes. Whether you've gotten to really know your peers and those around you. I think that's why you can seem very selfish, even though you are certainly not. I have seen what you've done for the people around this sept. I remember what happened when Coyote cursed you. Very clearly. I know the devotion that you showed to Petra and to your pack. I think people might just like to see a little bit more of that, Veronica. So a sort of trust can be built. But you and Adelheid are a mirror of each other, to be honest.
She rubbernecks at that.
Well, it's true, you are. You are both scions of your tribe, paragons of what your totems represent. Both of you doing everything you can to maintain and preserve the name of what it is to be Fenrir and Shadowlord. You both pay a mind to the old ways and tradition while still trying to keep things fresh and the blood flowing within this nation. You both respect your elders, honor those that came before you, and paying respect to those here. And you both want what's best for the sept. You have far more in common with Adelheid than you don't. But I know sometimes that can be hard to see.
It can be. That's why I talked to Cassia first and I talked to you in private. I figured if it's off the sept, this doesn't escalate. As well as you get someone outside that sees things.
I'm not saying that you and him need to be friends. You don't. But you have to live together and you have to work together. And sometimes, even though you are not in the wrong, you still have to take the position of what can I do to make this better? Is this the hill I want to die on? Especially as Galliards, that can be very hard. Some of our greatest stories are essentially open digs and grudges held through centuries.
I usually avoid those tales.
I know.
My tales are always cautionary.
Well, if you had to tell a cautionary tale, not about Adelheid, but about yourself, what wouldn't you want told about you?
You see her eyebrows furrow, but like she doesn't want to admit it. What they are. Out of game, you touched a spot.
Yeah, I know. He stays quiet for a moment, letting her process that. I don't know if you believe this or not, but when I first came to this sept, I was actually very, very poorly received. People hated me. There was talk at one point of running me out.
She looks pissed hearing this.
A smile softened. I had a really big rivalry with some of the Fenrir on sept. I don't think that they took too kindly to the fact that I was raised in their ways. And there were some that didn't take too kindly to the fact that I adopted Kate. There was confusion as to why I would. Who was I to come on to Sept and to take her like that? They saw it as me destroying their family. Not realizing that was the last thing I ever wanted to do. They didn't like that I questioned the status quo. And that I was never okay with injustice being what ruled the day. But I stayed quiet. I had my head high. I kept doing my duty. I made friends where I could. And I can tell you this, not a single one of them is here. I persisted. I remained. And what's even funnier is those Fenrir who took objection to me. Now their kinsman calls me his best friend.
Would that be a seer?
Adelheid.
Her eyebrows go up.
I care very much for the both of you. And I want you both to resolve this issue between yourselves. You both want the same thing, but you are both stubborn. But I don't think that either of you is unreasonable. This situation, this planning could have gone better. And it's not your fault, necessarily. I think the one thing that you could have done differently here, and unfortunate to say this, is maybe not rely quite so heavily on those you're connected to. Does that make sense?
It seems like you actually connected with her why Aldahai didn't like the plan. That it just seemed too personal.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, the idea with the plan was not to leave anyone out of the loop, but find a way to unite people. And when people have advantages, they use what they have. This was not in any way meant to make someone feel they were less important. There's a reason I made Aldahai the beta. It's some of the things that I saw that were important, he saw were important.
I can tell you right now that I do want alphaship of this mission. I think that this mission is more spiritual in nature and needs to be led by one with experience in the spirits. And I think that you would sincerely do better in the position of beta. As I told Adelheid the other day, and I'm going to tell you this now, beta doesn't mean second best. And I'm tired that people see it that way.
That is not true at all. Beta is very important. Shadow Lords hold that is the highest. Most Shadow Lords strive for that position. You expedite as a beta.
Well, then why don't you and I throw off pretensions?
She smirks.
Shift positions in this mission with me. I will serve as the alpha, and you will serve as the beta. My beta.
She softens up. All right, then.
He smiles.
Also, out of game, I'm doing this because I can't show up Saturday, and I want to see this get through. So this kind of ties in. I'm going to talk to Lindsay what I could do instead on Friday just to help you guys out.
It's fine.
If you're going to do the alpha position, I also suggest you talk to Cassia and Seeker. Because Seeker is working. There's a part of the other mission was there's the beast court that they want to hold in the desert where we rescued you originally. There's a bane under that, and that's why the Thunderworm's been drawn there. So part of the idea is to use that Karen to help cleanse the Thunderworm. It was looking for a combination of different spirits to assist in this. However, I wanted to also consult the people that knew spirits better first before actually going through with a plan. Because, as you saw with Coyote, some of them don't always be happy, and last thing you want is to anger your own tribal totem. Because I am representing.
Oh, sincerely.
And the reason I originally was going to pick Grandfather Thunder, but I'm sure we could probably get other help. Grandfather Thunder is not just destruction, he's also cleansing, and he understands some of these taints as well. It wasn't really about singling people out, but what I'm familiar with. However, you are also familiar with Thunderbird. I know the Beast Court Karen has Thunderbird there.
Hold on.
So you might be able to talk to my husband. I don't know if you want to use that, but perhaps that can give you some ideas, or you could talk to Seeker. This will also kind of keep things in the loop with your tribe and allowing certain things to be, if you wish to be private, you can. Which I would understand that.
He'll give her a soft nod as in thank you for remembering that.
That's also why. And the third thing, the split up I did the other day with the scouting mission, I kind of did a compromise with Aldehyde's plan because he didn't want people to split up too much. The Bastet have to do certain things in secret, and they're not comfortable people discovering them unless they wish to present them. However, there's a danger always working alone, which is why I had some Ragabash scouting too.
The only concern I had with bringing Rose is that she is, and especially at the time, is more advanced than us and may not see things that could be a grave threat to us as such a threat to her. Which is the difficulty with bringing together and taking forth a group with such a varied power source.
How about this?
Mm-hmm.
How about the day before I work with some Bastet as a beta? You work on the Gyro half. This way we can keep the appropriate secrets, while at the same time working towards goals we want.
And that is an excellent idea. This is what I propose, and it falls in line with that. You work with the Bastet to cleanse the Thunderworm. I know the Bastet have ways to remove the taint of corruption that are, as I understand it, stronger than our own. And we will focus on the hive and destroying the Black Spiral Dancers.
The unfortunate thing with the hive, I was hoping when we gave the survivor to Sullivan that he would be able to discern information. He's not talking, I found out. The spiral we captured. So we don't have too much information, unfortunately.
Well, one thing that we could always do is spear the Karen, honestly.
We can.
Just go in. Just go into the hive and fucking slaughter them all.
That is the simplest way.
It is. And you cleanse it out and we will get ourselves out of the Thunderworm. Maybe set up a Karen inside if it's a hive. I don't know if it's got a Karen in it or not. But just do it from within. Don't get them out. Just go in and attack. Ambush them. I know Petrova has that right. The one that allows you to force your way into a Karen heart.
Oh, good.
Sphere or something like that. You might be willing to teach it to someone who's going on the mission. We can do that. Poof, go right into that hive. Don't get them out. We may lose a warrior or two, but honestly, they'll die in the glory of Gaia. And we can tell their stories at the next moot. Venerate them, and I'll do a right gathering of the parted. Right. Oh my god, I love you. This is hold on. Jesse, you're so nonchalant.
I mean, we could. I was trying to avoid deaths if possible, but we do need to work together. I mean, there's nothing you could do if someone dies, but...
You know what? There are people who want to die in the glory of God. That is literally their dream. Who might have robbed him of that chance? He just spreads his hands.
At that point, you kind of made sense with her with saying the word dream.
Uh-huh.
Jesse understands Veronica.
He understands a lot of people. That's why he's a den father. But thank you. So yeah, you focus on and work on just Just clean the worm. Just get it clean. And I work with Seeker on that. I will bear in mind that is going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I will work on getting into that hive. Fuck it. We fight them. We kill them on their turf. You know, if we didn't need to keep that worm alive, I could just blow it up now that I think about it. But we can't. We can't. We have to keep the worm alive. You want the worm alive, right?
Yeah. Okay. Other thing, Seeker needs a spiral for her. Seeker needs a spiral alive for her to advance inner challenge.
I'm the one who gave her that mission.
What I was made to understand, which unfortunately I was hoping to get information, is she needs one of sufficient rank. It can't just be like a Clef or something. Out of game, I think Lindsay said they had to be Aethor, but
they have to be they have to be Athro or Elder.
So there is that. Like, if we can catch some that capture some, that would be better. If we can't, that's spilt milk. The other idea as a loophole, if we can't capture one alive, we can at least get a name. Because if we get a name, we can bind them, and she can redeem their spirit.
It has to be a living god.
Okay, I was not made aware of that. I thought that was a loophole.
No, unfortunately. I am the one who laid out the challenge, and yes, it does need to be a living.
Out of game, I thought Selenia laid out the challenge.
Thank you, it was Selenia. You're right. But Jesse was there when it was laid out. That's why I'm
yeah.
Yeah, Selenia laid out the challenge. Jesse was there. So put it as though he's saying from Selenia's.
Okay. Actually, speaking of Selenia, maybe you could talk to him too on certain things. Maybe he might have some ideas how you can capture one.
That's very true. I hadn't thought about that.
My pack is... A lot of people don't like what we do, but we do so effectively what others are afraid to do themselves. As the Night Rider, so... They know... Your pack is... and I get along. I believe that would be a good idea that we can coordinate, as well as it would create alliances.
Very true. Now, setting aside the business of this mission, my darling Beta, my precious Beta, I need you to do something else for me, please.
She smirks.
And if you have to take it as an order from your alpha, he'll just wave his hand, like whatever. Try to socialize with your peers a little bit.
You have no idea how difficult that is. I could work on it.
The mini skins has no idea how difficult that is. Me. Oh my god. He just waves his hand at her. How many things do I have going against me? Let's start at the top and work our way down. I'm gay. I'm gender non-conforming. I'm a Garu. I'm an Octana. I'm part Coyote. And I'm the miniskins.
I can work on my social skills also because you see her reluctantly mention this, but there is sincerity behind it because you and I are friends.
Mm-hmm. You just suck. It'll be good for your mental health. Besides, and I'm being sincere about this, you're gonna have a baby, okay? And when you start, and I want you to trust me on this, I had a baby. As you get further along, okay, you start kind of feeling like this need to surround yourself with people who can support you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, after the baby comes, you're gonna have a little bit of time where you're a little bit vulnerable. You don't want to be unprepared for that. I mean, fuck, Gogol Fang's first mother popped him out on the middle of the field of battle, strapped him to her back, and went on into the war, for God's sake. I mean, good Lord.
You haven't heard about the Margrave, how he popped out. He was also during wartime.
Yikes. Wow. But that being said, I would prefer you not pop your little kitten puppy out, baby, your child, out in the middle of the battlefield without support around you. People are basically like, yeah, screw that chick, Veronica. Better make a baby on the field. You don't want that, do you?
She like chuckles and just holding her head, shaking it. You are making your point across, at least.
That reminds me of how Dazzles had Autumn. That was a very public birth, now that I think about it. I'm glad I was in the safety of my home, surrounded by 5 men, not knowing which one was the father. He just blushes.
Valor and Kaz don't know who the father is, but they said they will accept it. They said they would accept the child regardless.
How many candidates are there?
I'm sorry, what?
How many candidates are there?
There was originally 3 that got narrowed down.
His brows go up? Was it mine? Was I sleepwalking? I have a bet, actually. I have 3 people that I figure it could have been.
Okay.
One of them is Kieran.
No.
One of them is the Truth Catcher. And yeah, what? You look like you could enjoy older men. You do. You are married to an older man. So, and then she'll just say the other one was Sullivan Black.
That was one of the candidates.
Nice. You sure it's not him?
My mentor said it's not him.
Based on what?
I'm not sure. She used some type of gift that I'm not familiar with. She just put her palm on my stomach and said it's not his.
Yeah, but Metis aren't. They don't work like that anymore, remember? They just come out the breed of the mother. You may not be in the clear. Who pointed her?
Either way, my 2 husbands are okay with this, if that's the case.
I'm just pointing it out as the trickstery little mini skins. You could become a member of Team Metis. Woo! Put a fist up.
I don't have anything against Metis, and I think they are very formidable. That is actually something I'm working on changing.
Oh my. Can I be the godfather?
Of course.
Mother, parent, whatever.
Out of game that he would be a good godparent.
He's an amazing godparent. He's even religious. Your baby gets to be Jewish. I'm kidding.
Out of game, I'll make that canon. that Jesse's one of the godparents.
Yay!
Both because she gets along with Jesse, as well as it would make things interesting. What that means, Coyote's watching over the kid.
Right.
That kid will be super safe. Or really amused. I think Coyote's good with kids.
Right. Ooh, why are you so loud, police?
I blame Coyote.
Police. You didn't have to answer, police. Shut up, police.
Oh my goodness, it's answering back to you. That's hilarious.
I know it is. I love you too, police.
Veronica looks at Jesse and is like, I could talk to my husbands. I do not have an issue with you being one of the godparents.
Let me go see why those police are being loud. Hold on.
What did you do?
That is one mad police. He can't get past where someone is parked. So he is mad.
Oh boy. But Veronica makes it clear to Jesse that she'll talk to her husband, but he could be one of the godparents. Doesn't matter what breed the child is. This family's probably going to get bigger anyway. Seeker's pregnant with Kaz's kids.
His brows go up. How's that making you feel?
I don't mind taking care of kids if they belong to Cassia or Valerie. Out of game, she can't mention the full truth. Why?
He smiles and nods. Seeker's good people.
She is.
She was my first. She was my first cub.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
She was.
Veronica gets 2 shots ready for her and Jesse. She just doesn't sure what type of drinks he wants, because even though he's nonchalant.
He drinks whatever.
So just to make sure it's nothing connected between his people and mine, she just picks whiskey. Whiskey or sake.
Whiskey is fine.
So she pours 2 shots. So this will be to us putting aside those titles and handling things for the greater of our sept.
A smile and nod.
She raises her glass to the sept.
And he'll down it. And I think that is a good place to end our scene.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Bye.